Hi, today is March 10th, 2025, and I want to discuss with you some of the things that are going on in the House of Representatives. I'm going to start with some bills that have passed. H.R. 695, which is the Medal of Honor Act, that was brought to us by Troy Nels, who's a Republican out of Texas. This bill increases the monthly special pension for living Medal of Honor recipients from $1,406.73 to $8,333.33 and establishes a rate of $1,406.73 for the monthly special person survivor spouses of a Medal of Honor recipient. Both amounts must be adjusted annually for inflation. All I want to know about this bill is how are they paying for it? I love the bill. I just want to know how they're going to pay for it. Where's that money going to come from? Especially right now when everything is being defunded. They're losing people. How are they going to keep track? There's not enough people working for Veterans Affairs anymore to be adding more work to their plates. So how are they going to do this one? That passed the House 424-0. So it was a bipartisan effort. H.R. 469, the Semiquincentennial Congressional Time Capsule Act. This is brought to us by Bonnie Watson Coleman, who's a Democrat out of New Jersey, and it sounds exactly what it is. Next year is our 250th anniversary, and it was passed by voice vote. They want to create a time capsule. Not really sure if it would be a time capsule for all the way up to now from the starting of our country, but we'll hear more, I'm sure. H.R. 250, to direct the Joint Committee on the Library to procure a statue of Benjamin Franklin to be placed in the Capitol. Apparently there is not one yet. That one, as far as I know, passed, if I remember correctly, that was brought to us by Chrissy Houlihan, who is a Democrat out of Pennsylvania. A bill that was introduced, H.R. 1790, to require $100 notes to include a portrait of Donald J. Trump and for other purposes. So they want his face on the $100 bill. They also want to create a $250 bill that I talked about in a previous video. They want to create a $250 bill and put his face on it. So he wants to be all over our money. I'm sure that will win over this time because that's what the Republicans do. It was brought to us from Brandon Gill, who's a Republican out of Texas. Okay, and the last one, H.R. 1634, Think Differently About Disability Employment Act, to provide for a memorandum of understanding between the Small Business Administration and the National Council on Disability to increase employment opportunities for individuals with disabilities and for other purposes. This is brought to us by Pete Stauber, who's a Republican out of Minnesota. I don't know how exactly they're going to help disabled people become eligible for work or create more jobs for them. I'm not really sure how they're going to do that, given how they feel about education, how they feel about disabilities. It's sounds a lot like inclusion to me. And I thought inclusion was a bad thing. Isn't that why they decided to get rid of it? It was one of the words, in DEIA, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. It would get away with, we'd have a problem with accessibility here as well. They're trying to say if you're going to give them jobs, it's got to be accessible to them. Well, we don't like inclusion and accessibility. So I don't know how that's gonna work. As always, I would love to hear what you have to say about any of these bills. Please hit like, subscribe, share. I want to know, let everyone know what's happening in the house. Thanks, and have a day that matters.